Lou, you're here. Mr. Clark. Can you hear me? Is it just me and you two? All the people! Yay! This is quite strange because I'm watching the screen and forgetting to speak, but there are a few people here, so I'll give the rest of them a time to... Oh, not that... the pausey thing, hang on. Closer to the window, see if that works. Okay, have we got any weird pausing things happening, or does it seem like it's okay? No, this is not Yorkshire tea. This is 13 Fair Trade tea. I do have a little stash of Yorkshire at the bottom of the cupboard though. Good stuff. Okay. Well, we're 12:32. We've got a few people in. There's 8 of us here. So awesome. Hi, Shell. So yeah, I'll crack on, I suppose. So I'm Gem. I'm work for 13 Group up in the Northeast, and currently working in business improvement. And I'm also a member of CIH Futures. Woo, go team. So I am going to have a little chat today about the £5 future offer, and go through some of the stuff that we went through to turn it from an idea into a reality, and kind of about that whole issue of innovation that the sector is kind of really talking about, and you know, it's a word that's getting bandied around all over the place at the moment. So we've also had some comments from those of us, and let's say us because it includes me, who are over 30, who are sad that they're not getting the deal. So I'm going to try and address why that is, just to go some way in, hopefully appeasing and apologising, and just say no, it's for the good of the future of the sector and the future of CIH, and we're taking one for the team on this. So I'm going to start by talking about this whole idea of innovation that's kind of bandying around all over the sector at the moment. It's Gabby, I can't believe you'd ever describe yourself in such a way. So this thing about innovation is just, it appears at the moment to be the buzzword of choice. There's always a buzzword, it's this thing, it's that thing. I read something on Twitter this morning that, a year ago, 2 years ago, it would have been continuous improvement. 5 years ago, it just would have been plain old R&D. And that's really all it is when it comes down to it. So from an innovation point of view, we started looking at this for 13 purposes a little while ago. And I was able to talk to folks at a number of organisations that are seem to be like really kind of the pinnacle of innovation and doing all this great stuff. So we talked to people at Flagship, at Taurus, at Bromford, really kind of all over the place, to Adactus too, Susie at Adactus. She was really helpful. It certainly was our very own Mr. Paul Taylor. He was really helpful and what I learned from it was that innovation is just a buzzword. As I said before, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it just would have been research and development, because that's what it's about. There's a perception that it's about digital. It's not. My point of view is that innovation is about an attitude to improvement, and primarily it's about problem solving. So what I learned from the people that we spoke to was that actually understanding the problem is what leads to a good solution. You have to be able to break it down and get under its skin to really be able to develop something that's going to be fit for purpose, and understand whether, if you've got an idea that, wouldn't this be great to do, is it really what you need? Is it going to have the effect that you want? Is it going to solve the problem that you're looking to solve? And you need to be able to understand the problem to get to that. I was also really lucky to be able to go up to Edinburgh last week to visit the RBS Innovation Hub. A lovely lady called Hannah Hahn up there who heads that up. And basically when they're looking at innovation, they pull a crack team together for a short period of time for a specific cause. And the first thing that they do is they break that problem down. Sort of really kind of pull it into its component parts to understand exactly what it is, from a kind of what's probably a high level, potentially wishy-washy brief that might have come from really high up in the organisation, to really understanding the nuts and bolts of what that means, and what solving something like that is. And as I was in the Innovation Hub at RBS, looking at their beautiful whiteboard walls and these foam boards covered in post-its, so I was in post-it heaven. I loved it. And it suddenly kind of occurred to me that from a CIH Futures point of view, that's kind of what we are. We're the crack team that CIH have put together to solve a problem. So our problem was that 48% of CIH members are over 50. New sign-ups of young people are dwindling. Obviously, in the climate that we're in economically, with welfare reform, etc., organisations have got a lot less money to be able to spend on putting their staff through qualifications, professional membership, all that kind of thing. And all of that is having a knock-on effect of being able to get young people into professional membership, into becoming qualified housing professionals, and into CIH. So what we needed to do first was understand why that was, and what we did was quite a lot of consultation over the course of the summer, and we spoke to about 400 housing professionals in using various methods with various questions, some of it very kind of broad brush, tell us what you love about CIH, some of it very specific in terms of small focus groups where we asked specifically, what's CIH great at, what is CIH not great at, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What are the barriers to membership? So we broke it down to understand what the barriers were. And from that, about 85% of the people that we spoke to said that cost was the biggest barrier to membership. Is everybody getting this? There's not very much activity in the feed, I'm just checking. Hello? Okay, I'm going to assume you're still here. So, on the back of that, some of the other things that we were doing at the time were mapping out what the CIH offer is. One of the other things that people had told us is that they don't really understand what CIH does. And that was a big issue for us, because actually when we sat down and thought about it, we didn't know either. So a small group of the Futures gang got together and started to map out that offer and try and work out exactly what it is the CIH does, all the great things, because the website is so big and there's so much in it that actually it becomes really difficult to navigate, and then that's where you can't find out what you know, what's going on where, and you're likely to miss things because there's just so much going on. And through the course of what was probably quite a flippant conversation at the time, the illustrious Mr. Caspel from Sutton Housing Partnership came up with this idea, well, why don't we just charge young people a £5? So, yeah, that's how it came about. And from that, we decided, actually, we need to look at whether or not this has got legs. You know, can it stand up? Do the numbers stack up? So David Pipe, who is the interim head of membership at CIH and is our kind of CIH buddy, went off and crunched some numbers for us and worked out, you know, how many current members there are of that age group, what the current income from them is. Because the thing that you have to remember is that CIH, although it's a chartered institute, it's a not-for-profit organisation, it's still a business. It still needs to be able to make money to survive. So asking them to do something that's going to cut a massive amount of income potentially out of their streams is, you know, it's a big ask. Just time check. So we crunched the numbers. We ran it against the information that we'd got through all of our consultation through the summer and the things that people had told us, and decided that actually, if the biggest barrier to membership for young people is cost, then that is the thing that the really kind of big win that we need to get in early, alongside all of the other things that we want to do with CIH to make membership better, of putting that to the powers that be. Now I'm quite happy sat here, you know, chatting away, but I'm not a natural presenter. I'm a natural talker, and if there are things that I need to remember to say that are really important, and, you know, pressure's on, then, you know, I start to have a little bit of a wobble. Oh, okay, I can't do Control-Alt-Delete because... Have you guys still got me? Just checking. Are you still there? Hello? Am I going to have to carry you around the building? Hello? Hi! Okay, I've actually had to come almost outside just to make sure I've got the signal. Hello! Sorry about that, guys. Can anybody tell me where I'd gotten to before you stopped being able to see me? Innovate. That doesn't help, Fizz. Yeah, where did I get to? Talking about the presentation to CIH, so you could see most of it then. Sorry, it's going to be wobbly now because I'm having to hold you. Okay. Yeah, so I got the job of presenting the offer to CIH, and as I mentioned in the last part of the video, I'm a very natural talker, but I'm not a natural presenter. When it comes to having to remember what I need to say and what order I need to say it in, hi Evie, I'm just rubbish. I go to pot, I shake from top to toe, and I come out in these lovely rashes that make me go extremely red. It's not my natural environment, and doing it definitely pushed me about as far out of my comfort zone as you can possibly get. Having said that, it was a really good experience to actually do it. I don't think there's very many times probably in your career when you've got the opportunity to do two, not just one presentation, but two. The first one to Terry and to Judy at CIH to float the offer in its first instance, and then the second one, once we'd got them on board, and they could see that actually, this is definitely something that they need to do, and that they want to do. And actually, I have to say, I went in with a presentation that I felt had so much evidence in it, that was so tight in terms of making sure that all the questions were answered before they were asked, and making sure we had the evidence to say that actually this is really going to work, and it's really important that you do it. And then it was like pushing on an open door. It was brilliant. And then, of course, we had to pull the big guns out and get the boss, our chair, Ellie Holt, involved as well for the presentation that we did at the Governing Board Strategy Day. So that was a presentation to the whole of the Governing Board, lots of CIH execs, and to the chairs and vice chairs of all of the regional and devolved nation boards as well. So, out the frying pan into the fire, as they say. So we did that, and again, it was all about understanding that we need to put CIH on a platform where actually it fits in with, to some extent, sort of lifestyle, and for young people, but more about how they engage with content, and how they how they perceive value, because read anything you want about millennials and sort of young people today, and everything says the same thing. If they perceive enough value in something, then they're willing to pay for it, but actually if the cost of what that actually is too much in the first place, then you've closed the door on them before you've even begun. Now, why did we go for under 30s? For start off, it's an easy number just to kind of pull out the bag, and that's sort of how it started. But there's also the issue that CIH has a really small number of under 30s in membership at the moment generally, and that means that if we're asking them to cut the membership fee for that cohort by 2/3, which is roughly what it is, it needs to be as low risk for them to do that as possible. As I said before, CIH, for all it's it's a chartered institute, it's a professional body, it still needs to survive as a business, and for any business in the current climate, knowing that you're doing something that's going to take a hit on your income is really, really risky. And you need to be confident that there's a good chance that it will work, and to some extent that the risk is kind of as low as possible, really. So we crunched the numbers on it and felt that actually, under 30s. Can you still hear me? Sorry, I think I put my finger over the microphone. They shouldn't let me loose with these things. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. This is one of the most radical things that CIH has done for a really long time, and that means that it was always going to be quite a hard fight to win to some extent, certainly in terms of income. So sometimes it's about picking your battles, and given the fact that this is the first kind of real change that we asked of CIH, it wasn't an easy win. it took a lot of persuasion, and it wasn't an immediate, oh yeah, let's do it. There was a lot of toing and froing from that, but we got there because we tried to introduce something that was strategically the right way to go, and that practically, in terms of implementation, was manageable. It's a manageable risk, it's a manageable income loss for CIH to reduce the membership fees of the current members to that level, and happily the regional boards were all exceptionally supportive of it. So really I think we've got them to thank for kind of getting behind us, and saying that yeah, this is definitely the right thing to do. As I said, CIH exec team were really supportive, and the governing board came around. So we got there in the end. So if you are under 30, then well done you for start off. Oh, thanks, Evie. Sainsbury's special. So if you're under 30, that means from January, if you're already a CIH member, so a CIHM, then your membership will drop to £60 for the year, which is the equivalent of the £5 per month, which is why we call it the £5 future. With a bit of alliteration. So yeah, and if you're not, then it is what it is. But rest safe in the knowledge that this isn't the only thing that's coming. We're working with CIH to make loads of really great changes to how they engage with people, how they get their content out there, what their content is, and to try and make CIH membership as valuable as possible for the money that you pay for it. I'm a self-funder. My organisation doesn't cover professional membership at the moment, so I'm paying full whack. Gary, no, you don't have to be in a senior position to join. You don't really have to be at any specific level, and you don't have to have any qualifications to join. That's one of the things that we found a bit of a misconception, that people thought you had to be qualified to even join, and you don't. CIH, for us, our kind of real, what's the word I'm looking for? We want CIH to be inclusive in terms of its membership and exclusive in terms of its content, so that what you get from CIH is something that you can get because you're a member, you're in the club, and that's the way it goes. Exactly. Evie, unqualified and under 30. Don't rub it in. I'm well over 30. So it's for the rest of us, I think we just have to get behind it and know that this is the right thing to do, and it is the first in what's hopefully a long stream of improvements and changes that we can make to CIH for all of us, but particularly for young people in the sector and coming into the sector, and making sure that CIH is there to benefit them. One of the things that we found when we first started calculating the numbers on the £5 offer, was that actually CIH already had this membership level cost in its kind of in its pocket, because actually CIH membership for retired housing people is already £60 a year. So the argument that I put to the governing board, and kind of let them sit with that for a few seconds before I moved on, was, do we value the membership of retired housing professionals more than we do the membership of young housing people coming in that are effectively the future of the sector? Now, that's a really tough question, but I think it's one that we had to ask, because if you're giving a group of people who have more disposable income, statistically speaking, a massive discount, and asking the group of people with the lowest disposable income statistically to pay full whack, then what does that really say about an organisation that's trying to get younger members not just into itself, into CIH, but into housing more generally. So yeah, inclusive membership, exclusive content. That's what we want. So I've garbled on quite a lot, and obviously we missed a big chunk there. So I'll hang around for question time if anybody's got any. I love Futures too, Evie. This is absolutely, hands down, the best thing that I've ever been involved with. Absolutely love it. I love the group. I love what we're doing. And I love how hard it's pushing me to kind of, get out and do things that I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to do. How do you become a part of Futures? Well, at the moment, we're a full complement. Originally, it was an application that CIH put out at the beginning of this year, just after the big conversation sessions, and you had to apply and answer a few questions as to why you wanted to be part of it. At the moment, as I say, we're a full bag, but that doesn't mean that you can't be involved with us and what we're doing. There are going to be loads of times when we're going to need people to test stuff and tell us what we think. So you can always be involved on that side of things, and as and when we get people who are, stepping down from the group for various reasons, then, opportunities will open up. And if we don't have a waiting list by that point, then, we'll look at how to recruit at that point. But yeah, if there's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to need your input on, so yeah, do keep an eye on what we're doing. Anything else? There's only 8 of you, so fire away. I'm just going to scroll down the feed and see if any other questions that I missed as I was going along. Lots of people just being really gutted that they're over 30. I know. I'm just happy that I don't look it. It's chubby cheeks, that's what it is. What's my favourite ale? Just you, Cheryl. Love a cheeky chipyard in Wetherspoons. Anything that's cheap, really. I have recently discovered the Shipyard Rye, which is lush. That's really nice. Can't get it on tap very many places though. When did I join CIH? First time, Geordie Lioness, was coming straight out of my qualification. So I did a foundation degree in housing, graduated in 2014. That was a New College Durham, and the foundation degree was tied in with the CIH chartered member qualification. So I got my chartered membership at the same time as my foundation degree, and when my student membership ended, I kind of just carried on and paid for it myself. At that point, after a year of membership, I didn't feel like I was getting very much out of it, and that was the reason that I wanted to be part of CIH Futures, because you could say that I'm kind of the resident skeptic. Been there, done that, didn't get the t-shirt, and let my membership lapse. And then when I went to the big conversation at the beginning of the year, got all whipped up into a frenzy and decided that I wanted to run outside and change the world right now, and really wanted to be a part of the group to try and make CIH membership more, and improved and all the rest of it. So yes, I joined the club, and here I am. And frankly, now that I'm in CIH in a capacity where I'm actually kind of inside it, it's developed a network that I never had before. So I definitely wouldn't let my membership lapse now, because the biggest value in CIH is in its people and the networks that you make. What is the tattoo on my shoulder? It's a swallow. Can't really see it. I'm not pulling my clothes around. Swallow with cherries. It goes all the way around the back and it matches on the other side. Yeah, you'll probably see it at the Christmas party, Adam. What else have we got? If you could get an ice cream from that ice cream van in the distance, what would you get? Oh, Screwball. Always a screwball. I was never allowed them when I was a kid because of the bubblegum at the bottom. My nan was convinced that if I swallowed the bubblegum somehow it would stick to my insides and kill me. So no screwballs for me. So now I'm a grown up and have what I like. Yeah, the tune that it plays is Nelly the Elephant. That's why you recognise it. When am I coming to visit us in Bromford? When can I come? I'd love to come down and see what you guys are up to. I'm getting into this whole going off and visiting people and being nosy. Just nosy, really. Just like to know what's going on. Okay, it's only 1:05. I'll give you another 5 minutes or so. So keep them coming. Anything relevant? Yeah, plenty of screwballs, Yorkshire tea. When I like a chocolate hobnob, that'll do. That's it, Evie. Let's go down to Bromford and have a party. Sounds like a plan to me. Okay, only 6 of us now. Oh, 7. Who's just come back? Best tip for a new member. Make contact with your area rep, your regional board, definitely, because like I said before, the biggest value in CIH is in the people. The whole thing of a human library is that, you know, the value is in the people. The people are the stories, and the value in CIH is in the people and their expertise and their experience and all the things they know. And by kind of 6 degrees of separation, you can suddenly go from asking one person what they do to them putting you in touch with 3 other people who'll put you in touch with 3 more people each. And then suddenly you've got this massive network of people that you can call on for information, and you can, you know, ask silly questions and get sensible answers back. So definitely try and you know, make contact. If you're not comfortable meeting people in person, and to be honest, like these networking events where you have to go and speak to people, you know, and kind of hold your hand out in a really awkward way and say, hello, I'm Gemma, how are you? Yeah, I hate that. It just, it makes me want to die inside. Yeah, so get in touch via whatever method you're most comfortable with. Make some inroads, make some contacts, and then once you feel like you know people, it's a lot easier to actually meet them in real life, and you know, you can just feel like you can have a chat then. Biggest challenge to truly embedding the £5 offer: organisations. That is the absolute kicker. So this is a challenge right now to all of the chief execs and the OD managers, all the HR people out there. Even if you're a head of service or a team manager and you've got a bit of a budget to send your staff on courses and things like that, to go to you know, a half-day course with any organisation usually costs you best part of £100. And what you've got now is an opportunity to put your staff who are under 30 into CIH membership for less than you would pay to send them off to a half-day seminar. Can't argue with that. So, challenge to you. Do it. Get them in. And then you can go to Faisal's CIH house party. What's been my current achievement, my biggest achievement at my current work? This year we've been focusing down really hard on social value and understanding what we mean by social value at 13 and where our priorities are, what kind of organisation we want to be, and what we're achieving outside of all of our regular kind of landlord gubbins that we do on a day-to-day basis. So I got tasked with doing that when I came into my current post, which is a secondment to what is now business development and business improvement and influencing. We're having a reshape at the moment, so who knows where I'll be in a month's time. But yeah, so I got given social value as my baby, and on Housing Day we published our very first social value report, which is an overview of, you know, just some of the great things that our staff do and our teams do for customers, And next year I hope that will grow and get even bigger, and we'll have lots of lovely shiny case studies in there and talk to people about, you know, what it's meant for them. So yeah, it's a nice fluffy one that I'm really enjoying working on it. I'm learning a lot, making a lot of mistakes, but you know, that's how you get it right. So yeah. What else have we got? Yeah, if anybody wants a Gantt chart, you need to contact Faisal Butt at London Borough of Barnet. Bye Cheryl. Biggest inspiration? You lot. Frankly, I'm one of these people that I'm ridiculously enthusiastic. I'll get me teeth into anything that you happen to throw at me, and I'm lucky that I can usually turn my hand to most things. But sitting in a room with, I think is there 15 of us now, 17, of some of the most bright, snappy, switched on, had the privilege of knowing, let alone working with, is just absolutely incredible. I have serious issues about what do they call it, imposter syndrome, thinking what am I doing around this table with all these amazing people. But we've joined as such a team in such a short space of time, working from all four corners of the UK, and it's, you know, what we're achieving, I hope, will create a legacy that will mean that, you know, young people coming into housing, and actually that CIH generally becomes much more of a forward-thinking, fast-moving, you know, switched-on organisation, and that the people that are its members really, you know, benefit from that. Definitely. Sorry, that was a bit gushy, wasn't it? Love you guys. Right, it's 12 minutes past 1. I haven't had me dinner yet. I'm usually an early bird, 12 o'clock on the dot, but I had to try and set this thing up. So yeah, I will let you all go. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any other questions about the £5 offer and all that kind of jazz, so I appreciate this has kind of been a little bit disjointed with me having to kind of move around a bit, and actually I'll just turn you around and show you where I am, because this is our Horizon room at North Shore, and I'm currently on the balcony. So anybody who says that it's grim up north, come and visit me at 13 and I will I'll show you a different way to think. Right guys, have a good day.